I know, I know. The title is going to be a bit of a clickbait here. I'm sorry. Technically, though, if you want to get picky, it's not entirely untrue. Because while the video footage and stuff is going to be from Diablo 2, I actually got started on this because of a review about Diablo 4. I'm always interested in new content. I am always interested in, you know, I don't know what else to call it. Something enjoyable, something engaging, something I want to do. And I heard a review comment about something, and he was talking about the loot tables. And I'm sorry, guys. When I was doing this, I was not trying to browse for what I'm going to want to post about. I was just looking for the sake of, do I want to play Diablo 4? I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'd swear I haven't really done a video about this recently. That said, I mostly play old games, not because I'm just an old fart. I do like some indie games. Some indie games are really good, depending on how you define indie. I just watched Zero Punctuation. Is that what he's called? No, he's called The Escapist now. Wow, times have changed. Anyway, he's on YouTube now. Weird, right? Yeah, anyway. Um, yeah, I'm totally aging myself there. Whoops. But I mean, they're going through all of this content and they're pushing it out. And, I don't want to go into this whole debate of what is an independent gaming studio. That's a whole different thing. When I'm talking independent games, I'm actually referring to those ones that are usually made by a small 1 or 2 man team who are passionately trying to build them. And they actually have a vision. They actually have something they're trying to accomplish rather than just making sure that they meet a corporate's bottom line. And that actually also addresses the subject I'm talking about right now, because, I saw all this review stuff about Diablo 4, and I remember some of the developers, they were like, "Oh, yeah, this game's going to be way darker." And I remember sitting back and thinking, okay, Diablo 3 was... I had zero interest in Diablo 3, at all. I saw the footage and stuff, and I was just like, oh, wow, that looks awful. And I looked at Diablo 4, and I heard tons of people going, "Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I love this game. It's the best thing ever." And I just remembered looking at the footage and thinking, meh. Let's ignore the whole loot box thing. Let's ignore all of this. And I want to swing back because one of the things that actually made me name this video is I built over the course of last weekend. This is now another weekend later. Over the course of a weekend, I put together 16 hours of me playing Diablo 2. Man, I just had a blast. I had everything built up. I had plenty of buffer, yada yada yada. Believe it or not, me missing the Rimworld content was me actually just forgetting about it until, well, it's a little late. So rather than just rushing it completely, I'm going to try and go slow. Yeah, I'm not very good at editing. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, we play these games and I just don't enjoy them anymore. I really don't. All the AAA games, all the big production ones, see that was the Zero Punctuation thing. He's like, it's not just AAA anymore. There's a lot of independent studios that are having those same problems kind of influence how their games are built. And honestly, they've stopped being projects of love, and they've started to become just the same problem that is affecting AAA games. And I don't really enjoy Diablo 4. Sorry, I love Diablo 2. That's actually why I did all of this. I lost all the footage. I actually have 16 hours of me recording my desktop because the recording software refused to recognize the emulation. I'm using Wine, which is not an emulation. Yes, yes, yes. Aren't you special? Anyway, the emulation software, it just refused to record it. So yeah, I basically just recorded a bunch of nothing. I have now fixed the problem, which is why you're seeing footage. Yay! But I mean, honestly, I did it because I remember loving Diablo 2 and playing it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I'm not a great player, guys, for Diablo 2. Although now I am pretty good. Back then I was awful, to be honest. I wouldn't call myself the worst, but I mean, I mostly tagged along with other people, and they mostly did all the actual brain things, and I just mostly play like, I think I did an Amazon quite a bit, and I think I did a Hammerden. Although I always hated playing the Blessed Hammer, so honestly, I don't think I really did that. I actually built a Hammer Paladin just to see if I liked it or not. I hate it. I really hate it. Everyone says the Skelemancer is really boring, but I enjoy the Skelemancer. It's fun. The Hammer one, though, man, you just go around clicking all the time. It is really monotonous. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. And I was watching a review, and that's what got me all started on this, because he was just like, we didn't play Diablo 2 for the loot. And I'm like, yep, no, actually, that sounds about right. Because honestly, I never played it for the loot. We played Diablo 2 because we loved it. And I was like, that's actually not a bad statement. So I went back and I played it, and sure enough, man, I can sink hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. And believe it or not, there is actually a point I am working towards here. I'm not just rambling for the sake of rambling. No. No, I actually have a point. My point is if you actually look at all those new Diablo 4 videos, they look great. You can see this in Total Warhammer. Man. Okay, I liked Total Warhammer. Even up to 2. I haven't played 3, and I have almost no interest in playing 3. Traditionally, it has just been one that I love playing, but honestly, as they add more and more content to the game, it just becomes more and more washed out, and I honestly just kind of want to go back to the basics and enjoy the basics rather than the more, I don't even know what to call it anymore. It's just so much meh. And I was watching the Diablo 4 video and I realized, it looks great. But here, let's look at the footage I've got right now running. Well, hopefully I've got it running. Is it fun to watch? No. Man, it's really not fun to watch. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm probably going to get really, really, really bad viewership on this video because Diablo 2 is boring. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean in a making a video sort of way. Rimworld. I'm loving Rimworld. It is a fantastic resource to have some interesting and engaging content that doesn't make me have to twist my head off. I really like it. It's visually not that compelling, but I mean it's better than Dwarf Fortress, which is the next best thing I can think of in that category, where it's you have this interactive environment that you can engage with and create stories and yada yada yada. It's great for content. And it's fun, honestly. We won't go there. But anyway, Diablo 2, it's not built to look good. For its day, it was impressive. But I mean, honestly, it wasn't that impressive either. I don't remember when it came out, so don't crucify me. But I do know that at the same time it came out, there were some projects and games that were developed that were way more impressive looking. It's not because it was beautiful. It's not because it was, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. I'm playing these old games not because I have to. I'm playing these old games because they're fun. They're actually genuinely fun. If I had to pick any game for people to play, it is Diablo 2, which, by the way, I don't know if it's free for you guys. See, I still have my Diablo, so, yeah, I don't know. It's you can download it off their website, and they think they need the CD key, but I'm honestly scratching my head and going, I don't really remember. Diablo 2 is just one of those, I've always got it on hand. Anyway. It's a great game. It is fantastic. And anyone who looks at me and goes, it's not that fun, you're probably just looking at a video content like what I'm talking about right now. And yeah, man, I'm sorry. It's meh. But you know what? It's like, man, when I'm playing the Skullmancer, I love that point where it's like I've got the horde and I'm just kind of dragging it through points. I don't actually really like teleporting. I know teleporting makes it more powerful, but that's actually kind of ruining the experience I'm wanting from it. Don't get me wrong, I'd probably use teleporting in certain situations. But I mean, yeah, it works really well, but I mean, it's not what I'm trying to do. I enjoy that process of watching the skeletons rip their way through like a doorway that's surrounded by enemies. Don't ask me why. I really like that process. Like, yeah, I'll play it for hours and hours and hours. And you want to know what? Like, I know because I used to play with them. People would go on and on about the loot this, the loot that. You know, you got to get this, you got to get that. And I think Diablo 4 is really missing the point. I think Blizzard kind of forgot. People aren't doing that because they loved the loot. People are doing that because they loved the game. Man, it's like XCOM. I'm still playing it. People are still playing XCOM. It's fun. Anyway, yeah, I like old games. In my opinion, like, you know, Diablo 2 is pinnacle, like what made games great and what really defined like computer gaming for a very, very long time. Like StarCraft 2, man, I played it, the new version. Meh. I know it. Meh. I can't even finish that sentence. StarCraft, people have been gaming off of StarCraft and competing and stuff like for ages. I mean, since it came out. I don't know anyone who plays StarCraft 2 like that. I'm sure they exist. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm just saying it's not as good. It's kind of like I don't know how you build a new version of an old game and actually make it not as good, but they actually managed to do it somehow. I beat the campaign who's the first campaign? Terrans, I assume, because they always stick the boring race at the beginning. I beat the Terran campaign. I bought the Terran campaign. How do you even work that out? See, that's just really annoying. And I remember I was like, I finished it. It was fun. And then they were like, don't worry, the next campaign's coming out soon. You got to pay another full price for it. And I was like, don't really want to. I heard someone describe Diablo 4 as you might as well just play WoW. And I have to say, like, I loved WoW back, like, pre-Burning Crusade. I don't know if I really liked the end game content, like the 50 to 60 range. From a creative perspective, it's kind of meh. But again, like, you compare that with what we have now, and you know what? No one's talking about it. No one cares. It's kind of like Pac-Man. It's kind of like, yeah, is it Pac-Man? Yeah, I think people still play Pac-Man and still compete in it. Anyway, I don't really like that old. Okay, I really don't like that old. But I mean, Rimworld is fun. Dwarf Fortress is fun. Those are some of the newest games that I really like. Calling them new is, I know it's a bit of a stretch. If you guys know content like that and you want to recommend it to me, awesome. I'd be interested. I'm not against it. Meh. I don't like multiplayer. Okay, I used to play multiplayer all the time, and you know what I found out that I spend more time trying to think about what other people want. And honestly, I don't want to play games to think about what other people want. If I want to do that, I can just work. I'm sorry, but it's true. I don't want to have to worry about what other people are thinking about. I want to just have fun. I want to do what I want to do. And if that involves me shoving an army of zombie skeleton creatures through a tiny doorway full of imps and goblins and ghost wraith creatures, and basically picturing a giant shoving match as I try to push them through the door, I want to do it. Man, I really wish I could draw that, because, man, that image is just absolutely hilarious to me. Even now, I'm giggling about it. I really hope I have this. I'm not going to. If I had half the energy to edit that I have to make the content in general, I would have it lined up so you could actually see me basically jamming my horde of skeletons through a doorway right around now. Because, man, it just makes me giggle every freaking time. But anyway, as to why Diablo makes me sad, it's because I wanted to actually build a video hardcore. Yes, that's how I usually play. Shocker, I know. And I got to 27, and then I died. And I died because at 27, I was like, hey, you know what? I can speed up. And no, you can't speed up. And then I died at level 6. And then I actually was like, okay, I'm going to pay attention and stop like trying to record. And then I got to level 37, and then I died. And that was all like within a 16-hour window. Yeah, I was booking and having a lot of fun doing it. And then I lost it all. I didn't even get the video footage. And, you know, this character I'm recording is not hardcore. And I probably will just stay off the hardcore, because, you know what? Someone described hardcore as this. It's the same as the regular game, but you can't rush through it. And I love that, by the way. Like, man, you know what? I know lots of players have never explored, like, all the tombs, but I mean, like, I think I've done it before in the past, and I just did it again with my level 37 character. I explored all the tombs in Act 2. I explored every single room from Act 1 to Act 4. I hadn't started Act 5, because I was actually gearing up a little. Why did I die? How did I die with that 37? I don't remember. It was something stupid, I'm sure. Because that's generally how you die on hardcore, is you do something stupid. Yeah, I think I misclicked or something, because I think I was trying to click through a portal, and I accidentally like picked up an item, and then I died. And that right there, that cutting that edge, I love doing it. I really do. It's why I play games like V. I love that edge. I am a big clicker person in some ways. I am just as fast as they get, but I also just don't want to deal with it. I don't mind action games. I don't mind high speed. I don't mind high stakes. I just don't enjoy it as much as I do shoving a bunch of skeletons through a doorway. No, seriously, I really do enjoy it. I don't know why. If there's a wall of enemies blocking the door, I don't mind actually dragging my army of skeletons around to another door to help them get in. It's kind of like playing like Shepherd with, like, you know, really angry, demonic, human-hating, like lifeless corpses. And for some reason, that just gets me to giggle every time. It gets a smile on my face. And I can sink 16 hours into it and not even think a thing about it. I've got a couple hours of footage now here. That's what's going into making this video you guys are looking at right now. I have other content. Overall, I'm actually pretty good from a game development perspective. But anyway, you know, I just want to establish this again. I feel like I've done it before. But I'm not doing this just because I have to. I'm not doing this because yada, yada, yada. Oh, man. Rimworld, I kind of have to. Okay, don't get me wrong. If I didn't have the video making, I wouldn't be playing Rimworld. And that's actually not a good thing. I would like the concept of Rimworld. I think I explained that in an earlier video. I like the concept of Rimworld. I just don't connect with it. I don't go... It's just interesting. Making videos for Rimworld, however, man, that's the connection I need. So I mean, I don't need to criticize it. Man, if I could find other games like that. See, I have Star Traders. That one's pretty fun. But honestly, it would make awful video footage. It's unique, it's compelling, it's engaging, it has like a very nice creative element. But I guarantee most of you will just be watching the videos and you'll be like, dude, this is beyond boring. And I'll be like, yep. That's a good game, by the way. I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest. It's a card game. If you don't mind playing, well, I mean, calling it a card game is a little misleading because I mean it uses an open card mechanic to help you play certain portions of the game. So theoretically, you could play the entire game on like paper with cards, but I don't know how. That would be like a nightmare to manage and organize. So calling it a card game is a little bit misleading. Yes, it is a card game in that you use cards to do certain things. Well, like everything, I think. I think it's everything. But I mean, if you want to call it that, it's more complicated than that. And it's a fun game. It's very creative. It's very compelling. It has a very rich, interesting universe that it's set in. I like it a lot. So I can't help but do a small plug. They have no idea who I am. I have no idea who they are. They're just making a fun game, and I like it. Do I play it a lot? Nah. Is it like Diablo 2? Nope. Is it pretty good? Yeah. And that's probably actually the newest game I can think of right there. I think it's, well, see, that's really tricky. They've been building the game. It's kind of like Diablo or Dwarf Fortress. They released the game way back in the day, and they're still updating it and still releasing new content. And on that note, that makes me think of Tales of Maj'Al, which is also really good. And the developer is just kind of plugging away at building his game because he's building the game he loves. Those are independent people, guys. The ones they don't give a crap about the money. This isn't about the money. It's literally just about them building this thing they want to build. It's kind of like me and the skeletons and shoving them through a door. I just want to do it. Leave me alone. Let me shove my skeletons, boy.